Joe, good to see how you doing. Evening. How you doing, Joe? How you been? There you go. Tor, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. How you been? How's everyone doing today? Scott, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Dennis, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Manny, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening. Okay, let's do a. I see I'm not first again. Tonight, I'm slow. Let's go, Scott. No, never mind. Don't worry about it. Hi, Miles. Thank you for providing these lives. I don't know what I will do without you. G, thank you so much for the kind words. Thank you. Good to see you as well. I'm good. Thanks for asking, Miles. Let's go, Scott. So let's do a rundown of what we're going to talk about on tonight's live. On tonight's episode of the CMF Live, we are going to go through the news topics of Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered Bank today has came out with a new market perspective for one particular crypto asset, which is Solana. Apparently, Standard Chartered Bank thinks that Solana is going to reach incredible numbers, but something has to happen first. Then we're going to talk about Arkham Intelligence, the crypto project Arkham, which is famously known for finding out which wallet belongs to which institution, is thinking about launching their own crypto exchange, well, derivatives exchange. Then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding the World Economic Forum. The WEF has essentially came out and said that every country needs to have a digital sandbox first approach for DeFi adoption. Then we're going to cover then we're going to go for the news topic of a senator. Senator Hagrid has introduced a Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act of 2024. Because the SEC and Gary Gensler are incredibly incompetent of bringing out any sort of guidelines or essentially regulations or policies, a senator has decided to take matters into his own hands by creating an act, which he is now requesting. And if anybody wants to give up some information on the matter of how he should approach this act, but he doesn't want to ask the SEC because Gary Gensler is useless. Then we're going to go for the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Trump, because Trump has that crypto project, which is relatively his son's crypto project with a few business partners. And Trump's crypto project is going to go on sale next week. So people can start buying Trump tokens, not Trump tokens, World Liberty Financial tokens, starting next week. We're also going to go for the news topic on tonight's live show regarding the support for crypto is fragile. Congressman John, we're going to go through his perspective as well, because he just did a recent interview on a crypto panel show. A congressman went there and he decided to talk about cryptocurrencies and how much positive it could bring to the United States. Then we're going to cover a very interesting topic on tonight's live regarding Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor is thinking about creating his own bank, a Bitcoin bank, MicroStrategy Bitcoin bank. Then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding Paradigm. So Paradigm is essentially a venture capitalist company which invests into a lot of crypto projects. Well, their next investment has just been revealed, and it's going to go towards a crypto project that doesn't exist yet, but it is going to exist after they receive their $20 million donation for seed money. Then we're going to go through the news topic on tonight's live show regarding China. Now, we haven't heard so much news coming out of China for a while regarding CBDCs, because China is a very silent country regarding CBDCs. I mean, the last time we heard about China and CBDCs was essentially they were doing programmable CBDC testings and super SIM card for 2G phones and 3G phones and 4G and 5G and so on. Well, we have an update on China's CBDC, which we're going to go through on tonight's live show. We're also going to talk about on tonight's live regarding Fidelity. Fidelity has had essentially a big issue. And the big issue for Fidelity is that their data has just been breached, which is not great. Fidelity is a massive institutional firm, and for their data to be essentially breached, 77,000 customers, that's not great. But I'll tell you a positive once we get to that news. We're also going to talk about Bitamol Exchange, the Chicago exchange, right now suing the SEC. Now, everybody's heard the news today that Bitamol, the Chicago exchange, is suing the SEC because they want to fight for XRP as well. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more than what everybody else has been telling you about what's going on today regarding XRP and Bitamol exchange and SEC. We're also going to talk about tonight's live show another award Ripple has received today. So, regarding payments. Those are the news topics we are going to be covering on tonight's live show regarding Standard Chartered Bank, regarding China and CBDCs, regarding the World Economic Forum, getting involved with every country, regarding a digital sandbox, and a few other countries, and Ripple, and so on. So there's a lot of things to cover on tonight's live. Before we go through any of those news topics, which, by the way, the first one is we're going to cover is regarding Standard Chartered Bank. But before we go through any of that, I just want to say to everyone, welcome to the CMF Live. If you're watching this for the first time ever, this is the CMF Live. It stands for Crypto Mouse Family. And on this live, every single night, you can tune in 11:25 p.m. UK time onwards, where I talk about the most recent news that's happening around the world in terms of cryptocurrencies, CBDCs, AI, politics, regulations, vital information for you to know about regarding the world transforming into a digital era. This is episode 179 of the CMF Live. And we also do Q&As as well on this live, which means if you have any questions, put them down inside the comment section. We are live right now on YouTube and X at the same time as we always are every single night. So if you have any questions, even if you're beginning inside the crypto space, don't be shy. Put your questions in the comment section. And the disclaimer of this live, as always, is not financial advice, not political advice, and whatever I say is only for entertainment purposes. So welcome to the CMF Live if you're watching this for the first time ever. And if you're regular, let's go CMF. I just want to say thank you so much to everyone from the CMF, especially that's retweeting this live right now. I'm getting notifications on X. Thanks so much to everyone that's retweeting this live. Retweeting and liking and putting a comment on X as well. Thanks so much to everyone who's watching on YouTube right now and also putting a like as well. So before we go through the first news, let's go start the comment section first and then we go through the first news. Let's see where we are at, where we were. Okay, we were here. Hi, brother. Come on, good to see you as well. How you doing, brother? How you been? Good evening, Miles and CMF. Bull XRP, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? CMF, please share this live. Let's go, Scott. Hello, Miles and family. T, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? A big dog, can you throw it? I mean, it's just... We get sometimes some weirdo people coming in. Evening, Miles and family. I hope everyone is well. Ian, good to see you as well. How you doing? Evening, Miles and CMF. Jason, good to see you as well. How you doing? Good evening, brother Miles and CMF family. Good to see you as well. How you doing, funky brother? Good evening, Miles and all CMF. I hope everyone is well today and looking forward to the weekend. Let's go. How you doing, Addy? Good evening, Miles and good evening, Miles and CMF. Orphan, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Good evening, Callie. How you doing? I'm doing great. How you doing, Callie? Hey, bro. How's it going? How's it going, bro? How you been? Hey, Miles, how are you doing? I'm doing great. Daniel, how you doing? Good day, Miles and CMF. Mike, good to see you as well. How you doing? Happy Pisces, good to see you as well. How you doing? So, let's go through the first news topic on tonight's live, which is regarding Standard Chartered Bank and Solana. So, if you are holding Solana right now, this could be seen, essentially a positive news for you. Standard Chartered Bank price estimate for Solana is $540, but only if these conditions are realized. So Standard Chartered Bank's essentially analysts decided to give their perspectives on one particular asset, and that's Solana. And Standard Chartered Bank thinks that Solana can reach $540. Solana is up 900% since its crash following the collapse of cryptocurrency exchange FTX. However, according to Jeff, the global head of digital asset research at Standard Chartered Bank, the price could quadruple by the end of 2025. Jeff essentially forecasts suggest that Solana is currently trading at around $140, could reach $560, a perspective coming from Standard Chartered Bank, bringing its total of market capitalization to around $264 billion. However, achieving this target is dependent on three factors that have to happen in the coming months. For Solana to reach $560, $550, Three things have to happen according to Standard Chartered Bank. So the upcoming 2024 general election inside the United States is the first major variable. Jeff, essentially from Standard Chartered Bank, believes that Solana's price target is more attainable if former President Donald Trump wins second term in the office. So according to Standard Chartered Bank, if Donald Trump wins, Solana has a high chance of doing very well. A Trump administration would be more supportive of a broader digital asset ecosystem than a Harris administration, said Standard Chartered Bank. Jeff Kendrick, said in a recent report from Standard Chartered Bank, he also noted that the likelihood of a Solana ETF being approved would be increased under the Trump presidency. Facts. Because right now under the Biden presidency or the Biden administration, Kamala Harris, we've had 2 ETFs with a massive struggle and no regulations or policies for cryptocurrencies, Web3, stablecoins, or AI. So I can definitely see that happening. If we, go under Trump, we're going to have a massive ecosystem for cryptocurrencies. And if we're under Biden administration, even though it's Kamala, but it's still the same administration, nothing's going to change. After the US Securities Exchange Commission approved the spot Ethereum ETFs earlier this year, speculation has been growing among investors that a spot for Solana ETFs could be in the pipeline. But Jeff remains optimistic even if Vice President Kamala Harris wins the presidency, predicting that Solana could double in price in that scenario, maybe. But if Trump wins, Solana's price point will quadruple and the rest of the altcoins will follow in suit. The second critical factor is Solana's ability to increase its throughput. Jump Crypto's development of a new validator client, Firedance, is the core of its efforts. The technology aims to increase Solana's essentially theoretical throughput from 50,000 transactions per second to over 600,000 transactions per second. Standard Chartered stressed the importance of Firedance's execution, saying that current price metrics will only be sustainable if Solana can deliver 100 to 400x increase in the trading volume. Solana currently processes around 3,200 TPS, according to data from Solana Beach. However, the development and implementation of Firedance poses a significant technical challenges, and emerging blockchains such as Sui and EP2OS already offer higher transaction speeds than Solana. Beyond infrastructure improvements, Solana also needs to grow its user base to sustain a higher valuation, said Standard Chartered Bank. Standard Chartered also said that Solana needs to establish a dominant position in the financial space, which can be achieved through its recent partnerships with Visa. Visa dropped Ethereum for Solana because they realized Ethereum was too expensive and too slow for transactions. So they essentially went with Solana instead of Ethereum. But let's see if Visa changes their mind again, because there is a better contender for payments. Additionally, increased adoption through decentralized applications such as social media platforms and decentralized physical infrastructure networks deepens can support user engagements. Jeff also pointed out that Solana's market cap/fee ratio is a critical metric for its valuations, and Solana's market cap is currently 250 times more than the fee it generates, compared to Ethereum's 121 times, suggesting that Solana is richly undervalued. And according to Jeff, this disparity essentially suggests that either Solana is overvalued or Ethereum is undervalued. However, if Solana is indeed overvalued, it may reflect investors' optimism that Solana's value will increase significantly in the future. So, according to Standard Chartered Bank, head of digital assets management, Solana and a lot of altcoins will have a very, very positive future if Trump becomes president, and ETFs will get essentially green-lighted, regulations and policies will happen under a Trump administration. But he said if Kamala Harris wins, then there is some hope still for the crypto space, and crypto projects will still do good, but not as good if Trump was in power. So they share the same essentially points as Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs and Franklin Templeton, and a German bank even, Deutsche Bank, about a week ago, came out and said if Trump wins, the crypto space will do excellent. And this is a German bank essentially coming out and saying this. But they're sharing the same opinions, these institutions. If the crypto space wants to do well, there's only one man that can make that happen. Now, moving off to Arkham Intelligence is what we're going to talk about next. Now, if you've never heard of Arkham Intelligence, it's basically a crypto project that essentially has apparently ex-members of NSA and CIA and FBI members is what's been going around for a very long time regarding Arkham Intelligence crypto project. Arkham Intelligence are very intelligent, ironically, at finding out which wallet belongs to which institution. And their information is top-notch. It's always been correct. They have, if I had to say, a 99.9% accuracy on finding out which wallet belongs to which institution. Institutions don't tend to let the public know that they own particular wallets because they don't want the public to chase their wallets around and find out what they're buying and selling. But Arkham Intelligence does that for us. And then why am I bringing up Arkham Intelligence is because they're going to be launching a derivatives exchange. Arkham Intelligence already has a token as well, if anybody wants to go and check them out. And they've been in the crypto space for a while. So, in a bold move, Arkham Intelligence, a blockchain data firm, is preparing to launch a crypto derivatives exchange next month. As reported by Bloomberg, the firm is charting its course from the United States to the shores of Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. This ambitious venture, backed by influential investors like OpenAI, ChatGPT, in other words, for most people, OpenAI is ChatGPT. OpenAI is one of the investors for this derivatives exchange that's coming out of Arkham Intelligence. So Sam Altman marks a significant step for the blockchain data company. Arkham Intelligence seeks to compete in the crypto market space alongside major players like Coinbase, Binance Exchange, BitMEX Exchange, and so on. Founded in 2020, Arkham has made a name for itself, providing valuable insights in blockchain data, and it definitely has. The firm has essentially excellently connected the dots between various entities, and there are activities inside the crypto space backing from prominent investors such as OpenAI, Bedrock, Dapper Associates, and Binance Labs. The firm plans to bring its analytic powers to the trading floor. The derivatives exchange will focus on retail investors and position itself against established platforms like Binance. The firm seeks to operate under a free trade zone license in the Dominican Republic, which offers various tax exemptions and financial incentives. Unfortunately, US investors will not have access to this new venue. The initiative comes when the crypto landscape is undergoing significant shifts. This is especially true of the regulatory scrutiny against Binance and the rest of the crypto platforms from the SEC. Hence why they're moving to the Dominican Republic to set up a derivatives exchange. Despite Binance's dominance in the derivatives market space, its shares has recently hit a 4-year low. Interesting, this has created an opportunity for new entrants like Arkham. Regardless of the legal challenges, derivatives tradings on centralized exchanges reached an impressive $3 trillion in September. This represents about 71% of the total crypto trading volume. Arkham Intelligence has spent the past year developing its exchange, all of its technology internally. The firm is currently in talks with the Middle East investors to raise $100 million for this venture. The firm's data essentially platform boasts around 880,000 active monthly users. Arkham expects to leverage this user base to attract customers to its new exchange. Over the past year, Arkham has essentially crafted the technology that will power its exchange, ensuring it meets the needs of today's savvy investors. The firm has also bolstered its brand visibility within the sport and community enthusiasts. Recently, the firm signed a 2-season sponsorship deal for many football players. This agreement, worth 1.8 million euros or $2 million, essentially $2 million per season, will feature their logos on football stadiums and so on. The football stadium is, I couldn't care less, regarding sponsoring yourself. It brings in some customers and some eyes, which is good. But what I care about is Arkham Intelligence. Arkham Intelligence is about to do something interesting, creating their own exchange, and they've been working on it for over a year, which they've kept themselves very silent on. Nobody knew Arkham Intelligence was working for over a year now on a crypto exchange, on a derivatives exchange. They have their own token, they have their own project, They have their own chain, essentially. They have their own 880,000 monthly users. They have essentially a backing from OpenAI. ChatGPT is backing Arkham Intelligence's crypto exchange, which is going to go up against Binance Exchange. And they're in talks with the Middle Eastern investors to raise $100 million. What I would say right now is Arkham Intelligence seems very, essentially interesting project to look into, because if they raise $100 million, if they essentially create an exchange for themselves, a well-established exchange, fully licensed in the Middle East, fully licensed in Latin American countries and beyond and so on, Arkham Intelligence is going to do excellent, and their project, their token, is also going to follow in suit. So it's definitely worth a look into. Is what I would say is definitely worth a look into now. But that's only if they get the investments, the $100 million they're trying to raise. But I'll definitely keep people updated on Arkham Intelligence's footsteps inside the crypto market space to see if they actually launch it, because it's going to do great for their token, great exposure for their chain. They already have 880,000 active monthly members coming in. So they have the customer base, they have the money, and the backers from OpenAI. So far, it looks like it's going to be a great project. Let's see. Now, what we're going to talk about is the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is what we're going to talk about next. But before we go through that, it's related to crypto assets. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. If you have any questions, go for it inside the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer any questions you may have. So let's see where we are in the questions. Good evening, Miles and CMF. Tana, good to see you. How you doing, Tana? How you been? If Solana can reach $500, I'm pretty sure XRP could at least $100. You never know. Honestly, you honestly never know. Any news about Doge? Jerome, to be fairly honest with you, I don't have much news about Dogecoin. They don't do much, I'll be honest. But the last news I shared about Dogecoin was a week ago, which was actually quite major news, which was a development company that focuses on building on the Bitcoin chain decided to build on Doge's chain instead and bring smart contract capabilities to Doge, essentially Doge chain, which would essentially put Dogecoin a competitor towards Solana, because the original meme coin was Dogecoin. So if Dogecoin can have smart contract capabilities, it can essentially you can build things on it, you can build other tokens on it. It will become the king of meme coin chains. Right now, the king of meme coin chains is Solana. But if the original meme coin, which is Dogecoin, has the same capabilities as Solana, then everybody will essentially, make Dogecoin the number one essentially chain for meme coins. So I would say, whenever that does happen, because they're building on it right now towards that target, then it's going to make Dogecoin definitely the king of essentially, meme coin chains, meme coin projects, which is going to bring a lot of money for them. Now, too many if for Solanos, too many ifs for Solanos coming out of Standard Chartered Bank. Confirming you're saying Arkham, do you know what the exchange/coin name is? Yes, the token for Arkham Intelligence is ARKM. ARKM. Do you still foresee a Black Swan event this year as Brad predicted? Yes, it is true. Brad did predict a Black Swan type of event happening. There was an interview that was done. It's a possibility. It can't be crossed out. If it doesn't happen this year, it's guaranteed to happen next year. But what we do know is going to be happening is too many countries on the verge of going bust. The Chinese economy is not doing excellent. They just recently revealed it. The American economy, they're playing around with the numbers. The European economy, they're not doing excellent either. So a lot of economies right now, big economies around the world, are going through some turbulence. So a black swan event could essentially just lead into a bubble being bursting next year. So if it doesn't happen, nothing happens this year in terms of black swan event, it could be a bubble bursting next year. Is what I would say towards that. Regarding these foresee a black swan event, a bubble bursting is what I do see. But still keep essentially a black swan event as an outcome. Hi, Miles and CMF. George, good to see you. How you doing? Hello, how's it going? Long time. Woodhouse, good to see you. How you doing? How you, CMF? Let's go, Woodhouse. Now, what we're going to talk about next is the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum is trying to explain to every country they need to have a digital sandbox. A digital sandbox is where countries will test out blockchain projects inside of it before they release it to the public of their own jurisdictions. So the World Economic Forum decided to get involved in the blockchain space. The World Economic Forum backs sandbox first approach for DeFi adoptions. The World Economic Forum recommended using regulatory sandboxes to foster decentralized finance innovation while mitigating the risk. The World Economic Forum urged policymakers and regulators worldwide to conduct a decentralized finance DeFi-related innovations and experiments within regulatory sandboxes, focusing on tailored risk mitigation and transparency. In its recent assessment of 9 major economies, so this is what the World Economic Forum is looking at right now. Out of all the countries in the World Economic Forum is right now focused on these particular countries when it comes to digital assets, including the United States of America, the United Kingdom, Japan, the United Arab Emirates. The World Economic Forum identified the need for tailored approach to regulatory DeFi ecosystems for these particular countries. The report recommended using sandboxes to keep DeFi investments within regulatory frameworks, allowing for controlled experimentation while managing associated risks and ensuring transparency. According to the World Economic Forum, countries that have adapted a nibble sandbox first approach to address inherent risk show signs of progress in DeFi innovations. It supported using a controlled environment for experimentations with digital assets and decentralized protocols. The success of a regulatory sandbox highlights the potential for collaborative innovation in DeFi, said the World Economic Forum today. The World Economic Forum also noted that only 9% of all jurisdictions studied and have applied existing financial regulations to digital assets. Basically, the World Economic Forum has came out today and said, what is going on? Why is every country slowing down? Every country should be spearheading towards regulations and policies for digital assets, is what the World Economic Forum is basically saying today. I think they should say it loud enough so Gary Gensler can hear it. They said the UK, Hong Kong, and Singapore were the only jurisdictions that have established or essentially developed a tailored regulatory framework, the report added. To date, around 33% of jurisdictions lack a regulatory framework and are not currently working on one. What is happening there? The World Economic Forum recommended using sandboxes to build compliant ecosystems for jurisdictions eyeing DeFi innovations. The World Economic Forum also stressed the importance of collaboration between regulators and DeFi platforms to ensure consistent communication about the risks involved. So the WEF today has came out and said that blockchain projects should be working with the governments. Why are the governments not working with the blockchain projects? The report also suggested that licensing models that account for decentralized natures of DeFi have helped facilitate the progress. The World Economic Forum also reported and underscored the between traditional, essentially financial regulations and decentralized economies. They said policymakers and regulators should therefore explore the possibilities of achieving the crucial aims of protecting consumers. Innovation by collaborating such requirements and perimeters definitions for decentralized networks, the World Economic Forum report said, the European Blockchain Sandbox Initiative recently essentially onboarded 41 authorities and regulators from 22 countries to participate in the second cohort of its Blockchain Sandbox Initiative, which they're happy about. The project aims to provide a framework for blockchain projects, regulators, and authorities to engage in dialogue and identify legal and regulatory obstacles to blockchain innovation. So, the three groups that are running the blockchain wave are the World Economic Forum, the Bank of International Settlements, and the International Monetary Fund. The CBDC progress that's happening is through the Bank of International Settlements. The International Monetary Fund is the one pressuring countries to go towards CBDCs alongside the Bank of International Settlements. And the World Economic Forum is the one pressuring countries to go into regulations for blockchain developments and CBDC developments and so on. So it seems like the World Economic Forum is not happy. And they want countries to speed up when it comes to regulations and policies. This is good. If the World Economic Forum is coming out and pressuring countries, and with a new report as well, pressuring countries to spearhead towards regulations, this is good news. Because if you're somebody inside the crypto space, and for the longest time you wanted regulations, for the longest time you wanted Gary Gensler to do his effing job for once in his life, this is good. The World Economic Forum, the most powerful people on this planet, pretty much, the ones that we can see, are coming out and pressuring everybody, every country around them, that regulations need to come faster and they're coming too slow. And that blockchain projects should be working with governments and that governments should be working with blockchain projects. So thank you to the World Economic Forum for once in their lives doing something useful. Now, what we're going to talk about on tonight's live is Senator Hagrid, or Hagrid, introducing clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act of 2024. Because the SEC has done nothing, Gary Gensler has produced no regulations or policies, a senator decided to take matters into his own hands. So, the United States Senator bill is building on House member Patrick McHenry's stablecoin regulations. Bill has released a discussion draft of the Clarity for Payment Stablecoins Act of 2024, with a few refinements of McHenry's 2023 bill of the same name. McHenry is retiring at the end of his current term, and Bill wants to carry on to bring in more regulations for cryptocurrencies. Bill, a member of the Senate Banking Committee, acknowledged the new legislation debt to its predecessors and emphasized its key differences in the statement. The most dramatic change in Bill has essentially compared to the 2023 version concerns the role of estates. In a final selection titled State Level Regulatory Regime, which has no analog in McHenry's bill, Bill specifies that stablecoin issuers that have less than $10 billion in market capitalization can be regulated at the state level. Issuers of stablecoins with larger caps can see waivers to allow them to remain under state rather than federal regulation. In addition, the bill also changes the federal agencies that supervise some issuers. Bill also went on to say, these key provisions and other technical modifications strengthen the state pathway to stablecoin issuance, establishing a tailored regulatory regime that most effectively facilitates innovation and protects consumers. The 2023 stablecoin bill passed out the House Financial Services Committee with some support, but negotiations continued. Committee ranking member Maxine Waters released a statement in September as well, expressing her satisfaction with the bill. Before the end of this year, I want us to strike a grand bargaining on stablecoins and other long overdue bills. Since 2020, we have been working for hours on end to reach an agreement and have each made multiple concessions. Bill introduced the Stablecoin Transparency Act back in 2022 during the previous Congress. That bill notably essentially defined stablecoins as securities, which the 2024 bill explicitly does not. The Stablecoin Transparency Act did not make it out to the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and on essentially urban affairs. Pro-crypto Senator Cynthia Luminis and Christian Gilbert introduced the stablecoin legislation in April 2024 as well. 179 pages. Their Luminis Gilbert Payment Stablecoin Act is more than triple the length of McHenry and Bill's pages. The Luminis Gilbert bill is still being considered by Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs. And Bill is accepting comments on his draft through November 1st. So the only reason senators are coming, essentially one by one, creating their own bill for the crypto space, and the best part is the original stablecoin bill, which came out in 2022, stated that stablecoins are securities. The essentially revised version of that bill coming out in 2024 today doesn't state that. It just says stablecoins, no securities. Gary Gensler's not going to be happy about that one. But because Gary Gensler is not doing his job properly, because the SEC is not doing their job properly, senators are taking matters into their own hands. They're creating bills, which I'll be honest, they should have done that a long time ago. Not when Gary Gensler is about to be fired. They should have done that when Gary Gensler still had a job. But it's nice to see senators taking action when Gary Gensler isn't. Now, that's all to say if this is a one big show. If it's one big show, it's a different story. If it's not a big show and it's just Gary Gensler, essentially chokehold operation, then that's a different scenario. Now, what we're going to talk about next is Trump. Before we go through that, let's go to the comment section first. Let's see where we were at. Carol, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? Semper, Miles, and CMF peeps, good to see you as well. Semper, how you doing? What's shaking in? They were even saying that last year, everybody has to get a move on. I think once the US gets their act together, things will go quicker. I agree with JP. Yes, facts. Let's go, Semper. So, Trump. As we all know, the Trump family is bringing out their own crypto project. By Trump family, I mean his son. So Trump's son is essentially creating their own crypto project, which has been working on for a while. He has his own business partners, and it's called the World Liberty Financial Project, which everybody by now, if you're inside the crypto space, you should have heard about Trump's crypto project. Here's the thing. Trump's crypto project apparently is going to be releasing tokens next week. Next week is when people can enter into pre-sales for the crypto project. The World Liberty Financial Decentralized Finance DeFi protocol, supported by Donald Trump and his family, announced plans to start selling tokens on Tuesday, exactly 3 weeks before the presidential election, for which Donald Trump is the Republican candidate. Okay, before I share the rest, I did say that he should, if he wants to bring us the crypto project, Trump's family, if they want to release a crypto project, by all means release it. He's the right person to do it. I mean, he has 3 NFT crypto projects and so on, so he's the right person to release a crypto project. But what I did say is he should release his crypto project after his presidency. After he becomes president, then release the crypto project, not 3 weeks before your presidency. Because a lot of things can go wrong. I said this, a lot of things can go wrong with a crypto project. People could get scammed by scammers pretending to be from Trump's project. People could get hacked. A lot of things can go wrong with a crypto project. Too many things. Launching a crypto project 3 weeks before your presidency is a stupid idea. And I'm only saying this because I want to see Trump become president. I'm genuinely only saying this because I want to see Trump become president. But if they release a crypto project 3 weeks before his presidency, then things will go very south. Already, the Trump, essentially crypto project's Telegram page became compromised once with scammers. You cannot go into voting season while your voters are being scammed in a Telegram group. So, look, honestly, launching a crypto project is risky if you're not even running for presidency. But when you're running for presidency, don't launch a crypto project, launch it afterwards. So in case something does go wrong, you don't lose voters. And the news headlines aren't Trump's voters lose money on crypto project. Because I know it. The moment one person becomes compromised on Trump's crypto project, if only one person, forget about 10,000 people, all we need is just one person. One person becomes compromised on Trump's crypto project, that's it. The headlines will be all over. CNBC, every news channel in the world will be covering it. Trump essentially scams his essentially crypto followings, his voters, and so on. It's a stupid idea to launch a crypto project before your presidency. It's a very stupid idea. I don't know who it is that's around Trump telling him it's a great idea to launch a crypto project before his presidency. It's a stupid idea. World Liberty Financial, the decentralized finance DeFi protocol, supported by Donald Trump and his family, announced plans to start selling tokens on Tuesday, exactly 3 weeks before the presidential election, for which Donald Trump is the Republican candidate at. Public essentially sales starts on October 15th, open to everyone who qualifies through the whitelist. The project's social media account posted on Friday, the World Liberty Financial is spearheaded by Zachary and Chase, the two founders, who have worked previously on DeFi platforms like Do Finance, which saw $2 million of. By the way, just to put in a little bit more storyline, one of the founders of the crypto project that's coming from the Trump family, one of them was involved with another crypto project that went south already. So one of the founders of World Liberty Financial, the crypto project that's coming from the Trump family, one of those founders had his own crypto project called Do Finance. Do Finance became compromised for $2 million. A lot of things can go wrong launching crypto project. That's just one example. That's one of the founders of this project. Where people's wallets were drained for $2 million. Members of the Trump family, including Donald Trump, publicly championed the project on social media, with the former president being titled as the chief crypto advocate. Two of his sons, Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., are involved as a Web3 ambassadors, while his other son, Barron Trump, is listed as the DeFi visionary. None of this is wrong, I'll be honest. As I said, I want to see this man become president. But dear God, if this goes south. The project aims to raise $300 million from the token sales at a valuation of $1.5 billion. According to its roadmap obtained and reported by the block, the upcoming token will be called essentially LFI, and serves as a protocol governance token and would allow users to vote on initiatives about the protocol's development, the report added. The project proposed to launch on DeFi Lending's Powerhouse and other essentially version 3 platform on Ethereum's mainnet for providing liquidity for Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, stablecoins, and potentially other digital assets, according to others' governance post. So, if you want to, go and check it out. Trump's project is coming out soon. I still think it's a bad idea to launch a crypto project when you're trying to get votes in to become the next president of the United States of America. It's a big deal to become president, not a big deal to launch a crypto project. I'll be fairly honest. It's much more of a bigger deal, this man becoming president, than him launching a crypto project. Him being pro-crypto and bringing regulations and firing Gary Gensler is more than enough. I'll be fairly honest. I just hope this crypto project does not go south. I just wish them the best, and I hope the project goes smooth sailing. So, what we're going to talk about next is support for crypto is fragile, said Congressman John. Is what we're going to go through next. Before we go through that, let's go through the comment section first. If you have any questions, put them down to the comment section right now. Let's see what's going on. Someone must be pulling Gary Gensler's strings, telling him what to do, or don't you think, Miles? Regarding someone pulling Gary Gensler's strings, I've been thinking that for a very long time, so that somebody is pulling Gary Gensler's strings. You said this before, Miles, about Trump's crypto before election. Yep, I did, and I said it was a stupid idea. What's up, brother Miles of CMF? Bill, good to see you as well. How you doing? How you been? So, congressperson John, a United States representative for the state of Utah, took the stage at a... I agree with you, Miles. He's taking a gamble. Trump, I mean. Yep, definitely. Congressman John, a United States representative for the state of Utah, took the stage at the permissionless third with the Utah Senator Mike Lee to discuss the future of digital asset policies in the country. So, one senator and one congressperson went on stage on a crypto stage and decided to talk about policies, regulations inside the United States and how far they've come and how much more they should be doing inside the United States. It's great to see congressmen and senators attending blockchain events and doing speeches. So when they were asked, if the Baptism Corporation on the realm of Staff Accounting Bulletin 121, SAB 121, SAB 121 is basically an act that Gary Gensler put in place to make life difficult for banks to hold crypto assets because they have to hold them as a liability on their bank sheets, which they don't want to do that. And Biden said if anybody goes against the SEC and Gary Gensler, and so did the Biden administration, if anybody goes against Gary Gensler's and the SEC, we're going to veto them, is what Joe Biden said, and Kamala Harris, the person that's apparently pro-crypto, which made it incredibly restrictive for banks to custody cryptos. The SAB 121 Act was making a comeback. The member of Congress responded, "I think so, but it's very fragile." He continued by saying, "I think it's really important for all of us," is what the congressman said. "I think it's very important for all of us, all of you, as you push this issue into Washington to realize if it becomes a baptism issue. Will we have a very, very difficult time? Anything in Washington that becomes a partisan struggles. So I think it's important to find connection points with Democrats to reach a consensus on regulatory policies." Curtis concluded before noting that fellow lawmakers had trouble understanding the complexities of cryptocurrencies. Curtis said then called upon industry professionals to educate lawmakers and carefully explain the technicalities between the crypto industry to dispel lawmakers' fear of the unknown. Basically, this one congressman and this one senator that attended a blockchain event went on a live stage and said every politician inside of Washington is dumb. In a very simple way. He attended a live stage instead of a blockchain event, went on stage as a congressperson with his senator friend and said everybody in Washington is dumb. Not a single person understands what blockchain is. Not a single person understands what DeFi is. And we need to teach these people so they can bring the policies in. Senator Mike Lee asserted that the three worst things that could happen to cryptocurrencies would be for the US Federal Reserve to create a central bank digital currency, CBDC. A move already facing opposition in some states such as North Carolina and Florida. Over-regulation by the federal government and conflicting state-by-state regulations. Lee categorized essentially the letting states decided their crypto policies as death by 50 cuts for the industry and made it clear that digital assets are a new type of asset class requiring novel regulations. Cryptocurrency, this is the best part as well. This congressperson and the senator said, this is what the senator said, cryptocurrencies is not a security. This is what a senator said at a blockchain event. Cryptocurrencies is not a security. Cryptocurrencies is not a commodity. Cryptocurrencies is used as a medium of exchange. Beautifully put. The issue is, if cryptocurrencies are securities, then that essentially means they fall under the SEC. If cryptocurrencies are commodities, then that means they fall under the CFTC. If cryptocurrencies are a medium of exchange, nobody. Best place to be in for cryptocurrencies. So he put it perfectly. Cryptocurrencies is not a security. Cryptocurrencies is not a commodity. Cryptocurrencies is used as a medium of exchange. The senator told the audience, I don't even think we should tax the capital gain on the transfer of it, says Senator Lee. That would be great. If they introduce no taxes on cryptocurrencies inside the United States, that would definitely boost the cryptocurrency market overnight, no taxes. But he put it perfectly, to be fairly honest. Cryptocurrency is not a security. Cryptocurrency is not a commodity. It's a medium of exchange. Facts. Best way to put it. Let's see where we are inside the comment section first. By the way, the next thing we're going to cover is quite major news as well. It's regarding Michael Saylor. But before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. And this is a live, so if you do have any questions, put them down inside the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you may have. I agree with you, Miles. Is taking a gamble. Trump, I mean, yep. Self-awareness day. Why do you think people watch you? Why do I think people watch me? To gain knowledge about the crypto space, about the political space, about how the world operates, about how manipulation works, about how corruption works, is the reason why people watch me. Miles, your thoughts on Russia, Putin meeting with Iran today and how you think that will affect the markets? The reason why Russia is meeting, essentially Putin is meeting Iran today, is for Iran to join BRICS. BRICS nations want all the oil countries a part of them, so they can control the price of oil, essentially. OPEC controls the price of oil. OPEC was first essentially established by the king of Iran. The Shah of Iran was the person that established OPEC. The Shah of Iran, the king of Iran, at that time, 45 years ago, he rounded up all the Arabic countries and said, we are the oil providers of the world, and therefore we need to set the price. So OPEC was created because of the Shah of Iran. That was a big issue for the West. That's why, the Shah had to get, they had to remove the Shah at that moment in time. But regarding, it's because BRICS nations want to control the price of oil when the time comes. And to control the price of oil, that's going to start some sort of a war. That's going to start a big war. If BRICS countries start getting their hands on essentially oil countries, on Iran, on Saudi Arabia, on Kuwait, on Bahrain, on United Arab Emirates, and so on, if they start getting these countries into BRICS, eventually we'll have the entire OPEC, which means they can dictate the price of oil. And if the BRICS nations can dictate the price of oil, that will start a war. That will start a very big war. I think before Iran even joins BRICS, the Iranian government is going to be removed from the face of this planet. Be fairly honest here, which is not a bad idea. And if anybody's watching this and they're wondering to themselves, how can I talk about Iran like this? Don't worry, I'm Persian myself, I'm Iranian, and the Iranian government needs to go. Somebody had to tell you the truth. I just did. The Iranian government needs to go. And somebody needs to replace the Iranian government. And that somebody is the Shah. But if Iran joins the BRICS nations, which is not good, because eventually that will start a war. So the faster they remove the Iranian government, the better it is. A war won't start. Let's just put it that way. If you remove the Iranian government, there will be no wars in the Middle East. But some people see it a different way as well. But that's the way I see it, because I understand how manipulation and corruption works. Now, what we're going to talk about next is the next question, actually. What's the next question? Let's see. Will meetings speed up things? Regarding BRICS, probably. Greetings, Miles and CMF. My apologies for joining in late. Lena, good to see how you're doing. How you been? Did you check out my private message I sent you? What are your thoughts? Sorry, Lena, I didn't get to see it. I'll check it out after this live. Apologies, Lena. I got very busy straight after the live, and it was very busy today as well. But I'm gonna check it out after the live. Sorry about that. I think Michael is taking a bit far with his bank idea. Yes, it is true. Michael Saylor is thinking about creating his own Bitcoin bank if he gets to a valuation of $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin. Like Gaddafi wanted to do with the African gold coin. Yes, it's true. Gaddafi wanted to also do, African gold coin, and that never went through either. There's only one country that dictates the price of oil, and there's one country that dictates the price of gold, and there's one country that dictates the price of the market space in general. That's the United States of America. If the United States of America feels like they're about to lose their position in this race, they will bring havoc on everybody. That's the last thing we want. Who might remove the government? Who might remove the Iranian government? There's only one country with the help of another country. Well, here's the thing. Good question. Because the reason we're going to be experiencing some turbulence in the market in the following months is probably because of Iran and Israel. Because of Iran and Israel, we're going to feel some turbulence inside the crypto space and the stock market space, any sort of market space. We're going to feel turbulence because of that situation. So let me put it very simple. The same people that removed the Shah, which was essentially the US, the UK, and France. France, Russia, at that time as well. France, UK, and the US removed the king of Iran because he became too powerful. And they replaced him with the current government. The current government of Iran, the current government of essentially Iran, is brought in by Russia, is brought in by France, is brought in by the UK and US. Because a lot of people like to call the king of Iran a puppet for the West. The king of Iran was not a puppet, essentially was not a puppet to the West. Everybody's got that story wrong. The king of Iran, the Shah of Iran, was not a puppet to the West. He wanted to dictate the price of oil, which is why they removed him. And they replaced him with this regime. This government right now running Iran, they're not even Iranian. The government of Iran, the core government of Iran, they're not even Iranian people. They have no Iranian blood in them whatsoever. And they were put there by the Americans, by the UK, and so on and so on. So they are actually the puppets of the West. But somewhere down the line, these puppets of the West, essentially in Iran, the Iranian government turned against the West. So things started going south. So the same people that thought it was a good idea to replace the Shah with these regime morons are the same people that are going to replace the Iranian regime. Simplest way to put it. The same people that removed the Shah of Iran are the same people that are going to put him back. It's the easiest way to put it. The same people that removed the Shah are the same people that are going to put him back. They're going to put Reza Pahlavi II back. But a lot of people like to assume the Shah of Iran was a puppet for the West. Incorrect. They have the story completely wrong. The current regime was actually the puppet of the West. But somewhere down the line, it went completely sideways. But yeah, the same people that put them back is the same people that are going to take them back. And Israel is going to be the one that do it. Israel, the US, the UK, they're going to put the Shah of Iran back and remove this regime. Hello to my CMF members on YouTube. If this is entering, please help and share the live. Let's go, Scott. How you doing? But that's what's going to be happening in the Middle East. The faster that happens, the faster the market won't go through turbulence, and the better the market will be. We won't be going through too much turbulence, the faster that goes through. Does the US have enough oil reserves that they don't have to rely on other countries? Yes, the US actually has a lot of oil reserves that they do not use, an incredible amount of oil. So the US can actually rely on their own oil sources, but they have to start drilling to rely on their oil sources. Trump said if he becomes president, he's going to start drilling. Hello to CMF. Hello to my CMF members on YouTube. If there's anything, please share them live. Let's go, Scott. Miles, honestly, I think you overrate America. The whole world thinks Biden is the biggest joke of the world. Nobody fears him anymore. America's fear China and Russia. No. Americans don't fear China and Russia. Americans never feared China and Russia. The simplest way to put it is very simple. If the American markets sneeze, the world market catches a cold. Very simple to put it. American government do not fear Russia and China. If the American markets sneeze, the world market catches a cold. The simplest way to put it. Chinese banks are scared to do transactions with Russia, even though China and Russia are in BRICS, because they're scared of sanctions. You've got to understand how the world operates, and you've got to come out of this mentality of this person is scared of that person, or so on and so on. It's just not the reality of it. The reality of it is one country runs the show. Whether people like that country, whether people, don't like that country, it doesn't matter if you like that country or you don't like that country. The US runs the show. It's just how the world operates. They run the show when it comes to the most dominating currency around the world. They run the show when it comes to the market space. They run the show when they could put fear in countries of sanctioning them so other countries don't work with them. So, simplest way to put it, it's not I'm overrating that country. I'm not rating that country. It's not a rating system. I'm telling you what the truth is. If Russia was the country in control, I will be telling you Russia is the country that can sanction everybody. If the Russian market sneezed, everybody would catch a cold. So I'm not rating that country. I'm telling you the truth. The US markets, they sneeze. Every market around the world catches a cold. Every market around the world is scared of getting sanctioned where they can't sell their own products, which means their economy will go down the toilet. So I'm not doing a rating system of overrating a country. I'm telling you the truth. If Russia was in control, I would have told you if the Russian market sneezed, everybody would catch a cold. But Russia's not in control. If China was in control, I would have told you if the Chinese market sneezed, everybody would catch a cold. But they're not in control. America is. So I'm not overrating it. I'm not rating it in a rating system. I'm telling you the facts of what the reality of it is. So whether somebody likes that country or doesn't like that country, facts are facts. That's what I'm trying to say to you. It's not overrating system, it's the truth. They took hostage in 1980, yeah, that's true. Remember what the Hamas did to the Russians in the 80s? Yes, let's go, Jeff, how you doing? Good evening, Miles and the CMF. Free and Feather, good to see you, how you doing? Not financially, but due to the nukes that these countries have nuclear power. They can have as much nuclear power as they want, but every country has nuclear power. No country is dumb enough to do a nuclear war. Do you know that there's an agreement with every country around the world? The last time somebody used nuclear power was Hiroshima nuclear. The Americans dropped the first ever nuclear power bomb on Hiroshima, which was a massive situation, which after that instance, the world came to some sort of an agreement that nobody's allowed to use nuclear power. And if any country uses essentially a nuclear bomb situation, every other country gets the right to attack that country. So in terms of who has the most amount of nukes, nobody's going to be using them. Because if one country decides to use them, everybody will use them. And what's the profit of that? You've got to also understand the other argument behind that debate, which is not financially, but due to the nukes. You've got to also understand that war is about profit and greed. That's all war is. War is about making money. Everything is about financials. War is about making money. It's not about peace. It's not about saving people. It's not about who's right, who's wrong. It's about money. It all comes down to money, power, and greed. So if everybody starts using nukes, where's the profit? Which means nobody will use nukes. So come back to reality, forget about Hollywood, forget about what your friends may think, forget about what social media will tell you. Russia has more nukes, China has more nukes. Nobody cares because nobody's going to use it. Because war is about profit. It's not about who's more powerful, who's right or who's wrong or who's saving the day. It's about profit. And there's no profit if everybody nukes each other. So come back to reality and stick to the facts and forget about this BS essentially on the matter of who's the stronger country or who's got the most amount of nukes or who's got the most amount of weaponry. It doesn't matter because nobody's going to use that. It's all for show. Genuinely, it's all for show. If they will just come out and go, oh, we have this many nukes, oh, we have this many weaponries. Nobody cares because they won't use them. Because if you decide to use nukes, everybody will use nukes. And if everybody uses nukes, there's nothing left. This whole planet is gone. Where's the profit? Come back to reality and stick to the facts. Sad to say, it's coming to this. All wars are bankers' wars. That's facts as well. It's all about money. It's all about the banks. Miles and CMF, do you think one day we are going to meet each other after the bull run, for example, be great? Yes, definitely. Calm down, bro. We're just having a discussion. That's a good point because they keep us thinking scared. You're getting very touchy. I'm not getting very touchy. I'm trying to put it through to you so you understand. Because genuinely, you need to change your mindset. You need to change your mindset and wake up what's happening. It's just a fear tactic. But I'm not getting touchy. Put it in, a little man from North Korea talk continuously about nukes, but everyone laughs at this point. Pretty much. But no, I know we're having a discussion, funky brother. But I'm trying to put it through to you so you understand that it's not what you think on social media. People on social media will be making these TikTok videos. This country has more nukes on TikTok videos and that country has... It doesn't really matter. It's about profit. Forget about those TikTok videos describing to you which country has more bombs. You shouldn't care less. War, profit, full stop. War, profit, full stop. No profit, no war. Always remember that. Now, Michael Saylor is what we're going to talk about next. Michael Saylor aims to make MicroStrategy the leading Bitcoin bank with $1 trillion valuation. MicroStrategy founder and executive chairman Michael Saylor told essentially Bernstein that the end game for the company is to become the leading Bitcoin bank with $1 trillion valuations. Bitcoin is the most valuable asset in the world, said Michael Saylor. Well, he told Bernstein essentially in a recent interview. According to an October 11th research note reported by the block, the leading crypto is going to go to millions of dollars per coin, said MicroStrategy. And MicroStrategy will become a $1 trillion company if Bitcoin goes to millions per token, which means MicroStrategy will decide to create their own Bitcoin bank. MicroStrategy has been accumulating large amounts of Bitcoin since 2020 via debt and equity offerings to maximize returns to investors. Last month, the company brought another 7,420 Bitcoins to push its total holdings to 252,220 tokens, valued at around $15 billion. The firm's decision to accumulate Bitcoin is based on the belief that Bitcoin is the best deflationary asset. Saylor thinks that MicroStrategy will be able to increase its current Bitcoin holdings tenfold in the coming years as it heads for a $1 trillion valuation. If we end up with $20 billion of converts, $20 billion of preferred stocks, $10 billion of debt, says $50 billion of some kind of debt instrument and structure instruments, we'll have $100 to $150 billion of Bitcoin, he told Bernstein. With an additional volatility and ARR, the MicroStrategy founder believes the company could trade at 100% premium to the potential 150 billion, essentially to the potential of 100% premium to the 150 billion Bitcoin reserves that Michael Saylor wants to build. Thereafter, he aims to make his firm a $300 to $400 billion company with the biggest options markets available and the biggest equity market available. Michael Saylor calls Bitcoin a $1 trillion asset class. When asked how scalable essentially MicroStrategy debt strategy is, Michael Saylor responded by saying that it's inflationary scalable. He added that he does not foresee an issue with rising and not essentially raising another $100 billion in capital before an additional $200 billion thereafter. MicroStrategy is not slowing down. This man does not care what the price of Bitcoin is. He said he will raise another $100 billion and buy more Bitcoin. He will raise a $200 billion after the $100 billion and buy more Bitcoin. He said Bitcoin is a $1 trillion asset class, going to $10 trillion and then going to $100 trillion, he said. If you thought your predictions might be crazy, genuinely, if you thought your predictions might be crazy, if you thought the person, these executives that are coming out and telling you Bitcoin will reach $1 million per token, MicroStrategy is now saying that Bitcoin one day will reach $1 trillion per token. $1 trillion per token. That might be the highest predictions we've heard so far regarding Bitcoin. Obviously, he hasn't given a deadline. I don't think he's going to be saying end of 2025. I think what he's estimating is probably the year 2100. But he assumes that is going to be raising to $1 trillion per token. And he said by that time, my company will be this humongous $1 trillion, billion-dollar company. But yeah, honestly, if you thought your predictions might be high, and people say, XRP will reach $100. Genuinely, people will say XRP will reach $50. And people say, that's ridiculous. XRP reaching $50. That's never going to happen. And then you have Michael Saylor saying Bitcoin will reach $1 trillion. It's an interesting mindset this man has. He's a very intelligent man. Michael Saylor is a very, very intelligent man. But somewhere down the road, he started breathing Bitcoin. Eating Bitcoin, maybe, breathing Bitcoin, somewhere down the road. Because he's a very intelligent man. Incredibly intelligent man. But somewhere down the road, he started breathing and eating Bitcoin. Is when things started to go a little bit south for him. Because all he's seeing is Bitcoin. But there is so much technology out there in the blockchain space that he's not seeing. He's just walking past all of them. And just to give you an example of how much blindsided this man is, he went on a live stage and said, Bitcoin will be the only ETF in the entire world. And that was at a time the SEC was going back and forward on Ethereum ETFs. And he went on a live stage, thousands of people in front of him watching him on a live stage. And he said on the microphone, Bitcoin will be the only ETF in this space. Mark my words, it's the only ETF. And I said, no, it isn't. And more ETFs will be on the way. 48 hours later, the SEC passed the Ethereum ETF. 48 hours later, Ethereum ETFs come out. Again, this man is incredibly intelligent, but he's blindsided because he's not seeing the true potential of blockchain. If you want to see the true potential of blockchain, then you need to stick your head out of Bitcoin and have a clearer view. Not saying walk away from Bitcoin, but what I am saying is we have so many amazing, incredible blockchain projects out there that are bringing real change in the financial space, in the tokenization space, in the data space, in the AI space, in the Web3 space, that this man is just overlooking all of them. And he's so blindsided that he's telling people Bitcoin ETF is the only ETF. 48 hours later, SEC passes Ethereum ETFs. So he's an incredibly intelligent man. But somewhere down the road, I don't know what happened to this man, he started eating and breathing Bitcoin. Now, what we're going to talk about next is a particular crypto project that has not came out yet, but is about to be getting $20 million as seed money to start up their blockchain project. $20 million is going to be feed into this project from a venture capitalist company. Before we go through that, let's go inside the comment section first. For real, it's good to hear that. I agree with you 100%, Miles. Let's go, Mike. I think we leave politics out of this show. No, we leave politics in this show because politics is very relatable to crypto assets. Politics is relatable to money, to crypto, to everything. We leave it in. Sounds crazy, but if trust the bank more than the current. I think Michael is married to Bitcoin law. I think so too. Will the internet go off at some point? If so, will not disturb the new financial system that they've built? No. Mainly because the new financial system will work offline as well. And also, the simplest way for me to explain to you how an offline payment works. So a lot of people on X said that XRP Ledger, for example, I'm using this as an example. I could use a few other blockchains as well, but I'll use this one. So a lot of people said, even XRP Ledger developers said that the XRP Ledger does not have offline capabilities. Okay, the XRP Ledger does not have offline capabilities, is what even some developers on the XRP Ledger said. Now, there was a video of offline capabilities for the XRP Ledger that was released. It was this coffee machine, for example, this coffee machine where somebody would pay using essentially XRP offline. There was no internet connection. He went and paid with XRP on this coffee machine and got his cup of coffee. The developers and a lot of people on X came out and said, XRP Ledger doesn't have offline capabilities, but there is a video showing it. And some people, some essentially XRP Ledger developers, decided to dictate the video and say, well, it's not technically offline. And I'll explain what they mean by that. How it works is, let's say if I have no internet connection, but I want to buy a cup of coffee. I would go and pay for that cup of coffee using an offline wallet, essentially an offline transaction. The moment my wallet connects to an internet connection is when the payment is taken out. So it technically does work. It's on and off at the same time. Now, what I want to say is, technically, it is offline payments because I, as a customer, still got my cup of coffee using offline payments. Correct? Yes. So technically, yes, it does have capabilities for offline payments. That's how an offline payment works. The moment you connect the nearest internet connection, the payment is taken out of your wallet. But you can work, essentially, you can buy things still. So technically, you are offline. Because some people are arguing it's not really offline. Some people are arguing, well, it's like this. But what I can say is, if I can buy something with no internet connection and walk away outside of that shop with my cup of coffee, I brought it offline, full stop. But that's how an offline works. Because there was a video, people were saying, oh, XRP Ledger has no offline capability. Not saying you're saying this, but as an example I was giving, people were saying XRP Ledger has no offline capabilities. And then the video of the coffee shop came out. And they said, oh, well, it's not technically offline. If I get to walk out with a cup of coffee using an offline payment, it's offline, full stop. If I can walk out with a cup of coffee and pay for it offline, it's offline, full stop. The customer doesn't care about the technicalities. Nobody walks up to a cashier and says, so how does this machine work? Everybody just goes, beep, beep, it's £4. Okay, thank you. Nobody goes, how does this machine work? So the customer doesn't care about technicalities. All they care about is, can I pay offline? Yes, full stop, done. So offline really works as no internet. You get the item you want. The moment you connect to the nearest internet, the pay is done. You can find the best information here, Miles. Bring it every time. Let's go, Brooke. How you doing? How you been? See, he's copying the guy from Austin Powers when he was throwing numbers. Michael Saylor, yep. Michael Saylor might be Satoshi Nakamoto, but he looks like it. I think too much money has got to his head. I agree. Facts, Funky Brother, absolutely facts. How does the coffee machine know you have enough or any XRP in the first place? It was, you should watch the video. I saw the video a while ago, but it knows that you have enough amount of money. It knows that your wallet has enough amount of money. And I think you could also go on some sort of a minus type of situation where, you know, your wallet is technically on minus. So if you want to use it again, you have to, you know, update your balance. And let's go, Brooke. How you doing? Now, new crypto project. Getting funding for essentially $20 million investments. The essentially powerhouse of a crypto venture capitalist firm. A crypto venture capitalist firm decided to fund a new crypto project with $20 million in seed money. Paragram divides into the layer 2 ecosystem with $20 million investments. Paragram, a powerhouse in the crypto venture capital, has leaped into the future of blockchain developments. Earlier today, the firm essentially announced a $20 million investment into a new crypto blockchain project called, now this one might be a little bit difficult to pronounce, but I'll spell it out, ITHACA, a newly formed spin-off company. I'll put it inside a Telegram group if anybody wants to go and check it out. The ITHACA is working to build a layer 2 blockchain called Odyssey, which its creators claim to be the future. This move aims to revolutionize blockchain development with faster and more efficient and initiative solutions, particularly in layer 2 spaces. Paragram's chief technology officer and general partner, Georgios, essentially, is a leading in this innovative venture. In an interview, essentially shared with the founders of this project, that Paragram plans to essentially build a full stack of blockchain products and tools. This innovation aims to help developers innovate faster and make their cryptos more accessible to consumers. At the heart of this effort lies Odyssey, a layer 2 blockchain built with the power of Ref and OP stacks. The founder noted that Odyssey is just more than just another layer 2 solution. He emphasized that Odyssey will introduce features no other team has ever built inside the blockchain space. They haven't aligned which ones they are, but aligning with the future of Ethereum's roadmap. One standout feature is the support for more powerful smart contract wallets. This is set to make onboarding users into the crypto frictionless experience. The founder also noted that this new project has gone live on a testnet. Paragram has long been a major player inside the crypto space, funding many crypto projects. The venture capitalist firm that funded this crypto project is the same company that funded Uniswap, Coinbase, Flashbots, and the list goes on. Beyond this investments, the firm pioneered open source tools like Ref and Foundry as well. Projects like Optimism, Base, and WorldCoin have adapted these tools as well. The venture capitalist firm that's funded essentially this new crypto project has backed a lot of crypto projects, Uniswap, essentially Coinbase, and the list just goes on. While the ITACA represents a significant step forward, the founder clarified that this venture does not signal Paragram's shift into the accelerator model. Paragram will continue to invest in develop an open source codes. However, this new project remains a unique opportunity for Paragram to extend its work into the future of layer 2 innovations. The founder noted that this new crypto project Odyssey are a testament to Paragram and the team of its engineers' continuous innovative strides over the years. The layer 2 blockchains are designed to improve scalability on existing layer 1 blockchains like Ethereum. They handle more transactions without sacrificing speed or cost efficiency. Solutions like Polygon and Lightning Network are examples of popular layer 2s. But Odyssey aims to stand out by pushing the boundaries of what's possible inside the blockchain space. Meanwhile, current layer 2 solutions like Polygon and Bitcoin's Lightning Network have set the standards. Notably, Odyssey seeks to push the boundaries of what these networks can achieve. The goal is not just to increase transactions per speed, but to accelerate the pace of innovation. I'll put that inside a Telegram group of this live. If anybody wants to go and check out that project and read about it and see if they want to go for it, if they don't want to go for it, or if they want to study up on it even more, I'll put it inside a Telegram group. But that project has just received funding from the same company that funded Coinbase. the same company that helped fund Coinbase is the same company funding this crypto project. And they want to change the crypto space as we know it forever. And they got $20 million so far as seed money. They're on a testnet. They don't have an actual token yet for anybody to buy. It's just testnet. But if you know about it, you can be the first ones through the door, essentially, once everything the ball gets rolling. And as I said, I've revealed a lot of crypto projects on this live before, and every single one of them, they're brilliant because I've only revealed legitimate projects. The only projects I will ever share on this live are projects that have funding from venture capitalists. Essentially, I will never share, to put it in the simplest way, I will never share a crypto project that is trying to raise money. That's a bad idea, because that will always go south. The only crypto projects I will ever share with anyone are crypto projects that have established partnerships, established contracts, or venture capital money inside of them. Because I know for a fact that they have the money to start up their own project. They don't need your money. I know for a fact if they have contracts in place, they have some sort of future ahead of themselves. If they have developments going on, then they definitely have a future based on those contracts. So those are the types of projects I will ever reveal on this live. The ones that have already seed money, so they don't need your money, and the ones that essentially have partnerships and contracts and developments going on. So that's why I've only ever shared on this live projects like, for example, Measurable Data Token, which is funded by DWF, or projects like LAT, which is funded by Singaporean Financial Bank, or projects like Ondo, or projects like TIA, or projects like Ton's Ecosystem. And recently, I shared a few other projects. I shared Supra. I shared essentially a Switzerland project. I shared a German project, which they're all inside a Telegram group of this live. If you haven't joined the Telegram, join the Telegram. The projects are all there. And they're all genuine projects with genuine contracts in place, genuine partnerships and developments going on, and they have seed money inside of them. The Switzerland project has raised $5 million through venture capitalists, seed money, so they don't need your money to start up any crypto projects. The German project raised about $15 million. This project has raised $20 million, which means they never need your money. They already have money to do whatever they want, and then you can just reap in the profits. Now, before we go through the next, essentially, topic, which is regarding China's CBDC, let's go through this. Imagine Michael Saylor paying 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas one day. I think he'll have a heart attack. I think, okay, great. I'll read about Telegram group, no problem. Supra is suspended for KYC. Supra is not suspended for KYC. Supra has paused KYC because they're not accepting anybody else for now. So they haven't suspended KYC. They've paused KYC because their list of essentially people signing up is too full. So they said once they process what they have, then they'll open the doors back up for people to sign up. But too many people signed up to Supra. The moment essentially there was announcements of them, their backings, one of them being MasterCard and so on and so on, and people just ran through that project signing up. And because of that, they had to pause KYCs. So they don't want to accept anybody else for now, but you can add your email address to their essentially list. If you sign up to them and then you sign up to that list, they'll let you know by email once the doors open up for KYC again. But the reason why they pause KYC is because they're too full. Too many people ran to Supra to sign up. So not that suspended, they've paused it. Miles, when do you think Supra's containers will get launched? Their timeline is 2025. It's the first quarter of 2025 is what they've estimated. I mean, what they're trying to achieve is monumental. So let's see if they can achieve them in the first place. Okay, great. I'll read over Telegram, no problem. Now, China. That's what we'll talk about next. China's CBDC is a topic we haven't heard for a while because China is very silent on everything they do. Their country is like a fork's knock. I mean, nothing gets through, nothing gets out. Only if they wanted to get out, then the news comes through. And we have an update on China's CBDC. China's CBDC app records 180 million wallets with transactions of 7.3 trillion yuan. So it seems like China's CBDC is starting to work. China's central bank digital currency CBDC app, the ECNY, recorded 180 million personal wallets and transactions worth 7.3 trillion yuan, which is about it's actually $1 trillion worth of CBDC money has been going through China by July 2024 in its ongoing pilot program. So this isn't even a large scale, this is just a pilot stage. This milestone reflects China's commitment to modernizing its financial systems, with CBDCs already shaping how money is transferred domestically so far. China's CBDC growth. Today, a report was released by Local China, and the director of digital currency research, essentially institution at the People's Bank of China, their central bank, explaining how China's CBDC aligns with the needs of a digital economy. Mu, which is the name of the man that's in control of the People's Bank of China, Mu, on how China's CBDC, also called digital RMB, operates through two models, the account model and the value model. The account model allows the digital RMB to integrate with traditional bank accounts, making it user-friendly, while the value model enables users to exchange money using coin strings, facilitating smart payments on blockchain spaces. This flexibility allows China's CBDC to be used offline, in areas without internet or electricity, providing smoother transactions in a variety of environments. If you want to know where your country is headed, I've always said, look at China. It seems like China has got to a stage where their offline CBDC capabilities are excelling. So smooth sailing for China's CBDCs. Mu also emphasized that while the digital RMB has already processed 7.3 trillion yuan worth of transactions, the focus remains on essentially enhancing user experience and service improvements. The system now supports diverse payment methods, such as scanning QR codes, as well as newer features like payments without electricity and using mobile SIM cards. China's CBDC, I mean, they've created some, as much as CBDCs are a terrible, thing for society, China has, excelled so much. Coming from China CBDC, China CBDC app, China CBDC programmable capabilities, China CBDC super SIM card for 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, 6G phones. Anybody can have a CBDC wallet. Something else that China worked on for CBDCs was what happens, which is a genuine question, what happens if your phone runs out of charge, but you still want to do a payment? Well, if your phone runs out of charge, you can still do a CBDC payment. Imagine that one. China has progressed so much on a CBDC level that they've, finished all their tasks of offline CBDCs done. 2G SIM cards, so no matter who, has what type of phone, old phones, new phones, everybody gets a CBDC wallet with a super SIM card, done. And then now onto a stage where, let's say if your phone runs out of charge and you want to pay for something, how do you do it? Well, even if your phone turns off, you can still do a CBDC payment. These are things that are going to be headed your way in your own countries, in your own jurisdictions. The People's Bank of China is also expanding where China's CBDC can be used, particularly in public services like transportation, including buses and subways, to essentially strengthen their digital RMB efficiency. Mu stressed the need to improve support systems, ensuring that China's CBDC operates securely and seamlessly across banks and institutions. A South China Morning Post report highlighted concerns from Sammy Lin, an accounts manager at Suzhou-based state-owned bank, who observed hesitancy among users, including herself, to store funds in a digital yuan wallet. The primary reason included the limited functionalities of a digital wallet compared to a traditional account and a bank balance, with interest earnings. Another key concern that revolves around traceability of China's CBDC, raising questions about their privacy and security. Many users fear that their financial data could be exposed, leading some to convert their digital currencies back into cash to avoid these risks. Despite these challenges, China continues the lead for global central bank digital currency CBDCs. As of September 2024, 134 countries have been exploring CBDCs. 134 countries have been exploring CBDCs, according to China. A notable rise from just 35 back in 2020. According to data, also, this is also according to data from the Atlantic Council that's coming out of the United States as well. So China and the US have the same data going on. In terms of 134 countries right now are exploring CBDCs. Among them, 65 nations, including major economies like India, Brazil, and Australia, are in advanced stages of CBDC developments or pilot testing. China's next steps will be crucial as it continues to innovate and address user concerns to ensure broader acceptance of its digital currency. China's, really thinking outside the box regarding CBDCs, because these are genuine concerns. If we're going to live in a digital world, what happens when your phone turns off? And they're thinking of a solution that you can do not just offline payments, but offline payments when your phone is turned off. Now, moving on from China CBDC, which is something that's going to be, also by China doing this, they're fast tracking for every other country. Because if China can achieve these tasks, then every other country can fast track to get to the stage where China is. If you think about it as well. Instead of every country, tiptoeing into it, if China can tick things off their box, offline, tick, 2G super SIM cards, tick, phone turns off, tick, then other countries can just fast track their CBDCs as well. Now, because China will share those methods to Russia, Russia will share those methods to the rest of the BRICS countries. Some of those BRICS countries are part of the CIS countries. Those CIS countries will share it to the rest of the world. And by that time, everybody knows now how to do the method, which means everybody skips the line and goes to the last stage. But what we're going to talk about next is fidelity. So which means CBDCs could come much more sooner than you think as well. But fidelity is what we're going to talk about next. Fidelity Investments reports a data breach affected over 77,000 customers. 77,000 customers were affected through Fidelity because of a data breach. Things like this make a blockchain look good. Some blockchains, because some blockchains still get compromised, but there are very strong blockchains out there that don't get compromised. XRP, never been compromised. But there's a lot of others as well, but just want to name that one. But these are the reasons why blockchain should be included when it comes to data. Because this would not be happening if Fidelity was using data essentially on a blockchain, on a very strong blockchain. This type of issues would not be happening. It's all about with Ripple for China CBDC. Fidelity Investments, one of the world's most prominent asset managers, has reported that a data breach in August affected the personal information of over 77,000 customers. The breach, which occurred between August 17th and August 19th, 2024, allowed unauthorized third parties to gain access to 2 customer accounts. The compromised sensitive information revealed during the incident includes the customer's full names, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, and other personal details, as per the filings with the office. In a letter to its customers notifying the breach, Fidelity assured individuals that while the team is unaware of any sort of misuse of personal information acquired during the event, they are taking proactive measures to protect their clients' financial well-being. Honestly, because of what's happened to Fidelity, other institutions are going to start going more into blockchain, especially into data storage, to protect their companies from becoming compromised. The information, essentially, Fidelity said that the breach was detected, on August 19th, after which the asset manager promptly terminated the unauthorized access and launched an investigation. They have also enlisted the help of external security experts to assess the situation of how bad it is. The information assessed by the unauthorized third parties involves a small subnet of customers. A small subnet of customers is 77,000 customers. The popular crypto exchange ETF issuer maintained that this incident did not involve in any access the customer's actual Fidelity accounts. We have recently completed our review of the impacted information and determined that the following personal information related to you was among the information retrieved. We take this incident and the security of our information very seriously. Upon detecting this activity, we promptly took steps to terminate the activity and address this incident. This is the email the people received that were compromised through Fidelity. As a precaution, Fidelity has arranged for affected customers to enroll in a complimentary credit monitoring and identify, essentially restoring services for 24 months. This service provided by TransUnion, a subsidiary of TransUnion, one of the 3 major credit reporting agencies, allows customers to monitor their credit reports closely and detect any unusual activity that could impact their financial status. Fidelity's official website indicates that the company has $14.1 trillion in assets under management administration and $5.5 trillion in assets under management. The asset manager has a team of more than 75,000 associates located in 11 countries across North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. All this does is put more eyes on blockchain, because a lot of companies realistically should look at Fidelity and go, well, we don't want to become compromised next. And how you don't become compromised? Blockchain. If you choose the correct blockchain to store data on, you're not going to become compromised for a very long time. I'm not saying blockchain is, 1 billion% hack proof. No. As we go more into the digital world, hacking is going to get very advanced, but it's more foolproof than the standard methods we use right now in the companies, is what I can say. So this is going to put more eyes on the blockchain space, especially for data storage. Now, what we're going to talk about is XRP, SEC, and Bitmore Exchange, the Chicago exchange today, that essentially went against the SEC. Now, everybody's seen the news go around today on X. If you haven't, it was essentially Chicago exchange going against the SEC, telling them that XRP is not a security. Now, I have what they actually sent off, basically, from their own website. Bitmore Exchange files a suit to protect future markets from SEC overreach. This is what Brad tweeted out first. I'll give you Brad's tweet, and I'll give you what Bitmore Exchange wrote officially on their own website. A new look for essentially a new law for the renegade agency many thought couldn't sink further, said Brad against the SEC. The SEC now believes it can operate above the law, ignoring a court's ruling that that XRP isn't a security. Team Ripple will be watching closely and weighing in our own options to hold the SEC accountable. And Brad said this by tagging this from Bitmore's own website. Bitmore Inc., a digital asset derivatives exchange company based out of Chicago, owns CFTC regulated exchange, essentially clearinghouse and brokerage subsidiary, today announced on their own website this. Its exchange subsidiary has filed a suit against the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission, SEC, in response to an effort by the SEC to overextend its jurisdiction to digital assets and derivatives. The SEC asserts jurisdiction over a product that Bitmore Exchange, LLC, plans to list. The XRP US dollar futures contracts, XRP futures, which is regulated by the Commodities Futures and Trading Commission, CFTC, not within the SEC statutory authority. Bitmore plans to introduce physically delivered XRP futures, the first among other planned digital asset futures on Bitmore's US regulated derivatives exchange. Bitmore Exchange self-certified XRP futures with CFTC should not be going through jumping hurdles with the SEC. Thereafter, the SEC contacted Bitmore Exchange about their contracts, contending that the derivatives is not a security future and that the SEC has joint jurisdiction over it. The SEC contacted this exchange in Chicago which is fully licensed. Bitcoin Exchange is fully licensed from the CFTC. And they are listing XRP futures, and they receive a call, let's just say, or an email from the SEC saying they're not allowed to list XRP because, you know, the SEC has joint jurisdiction over it. In what case? Because as far as we know, the judge declared XRP not a security. So why is the SEC going around calling exchanges based in Chicago, telling them that they have joint on what? It's not joint custody. Gary Gensler is completely lost. He's genuinely lost. Either he's lost for power or he's smoking something. Honestly, somebody should check on Gary Gensler. I think he's definitely on something now. Because how are you contacting a Chicago exchange telling them they can't do a certain act when this Chicago exchange is a regulated, essentially it's regulated by the United States government, and then it has a license from the CFTC to operate. And you're calling them saying you can't list XRP. So what does this exchange do based out of Chicago? That's green lighted from the US government a very long time ago and has a license from the CFTC a very long time ago. They decide to sue the SEC. Given the recent landmark determination by the Southern District of New York that XRP is not inherently a security and was not a security when it was traded on a secondary market, this is what Bitcoin Exchange has said on their own website. They stated that the New York Exchange, essentially the Southern District of New York said XRP is not a security. It says on Bitmo's own website now. And Bitcoin Exchange is very suited to essentially request a court determination that XRP futures are not securities. And that the SEC still contends that XRP is a security for some reason. Bitmo is seeking a formal judgment from the court to protect futures markets, the CFTC's jurisdiction, and participation from the SEC's overreach. This judgment would be an important milestone and help clarify the regulatory jurisdiction in the digital asset derivative space. Bitmo's exchange has not yet listed XRP futures and has not been accused of any wrongdoings by the SEC so far because they haven't listed it. But when they went to list it, the SEC said, no, we have joint jurisdiction. And Bitmo said, no, you don't. And therefore, we are going to sue you because we have proof. And do you know what proof essentially Bitcoin Exchange is using against the SEC that XRP is not a security? The court verdict that Gary Gensler decides to ignore till this day. Now, thank you so much for that exchange for doing that, honestly. I think more exchanges that are government-based exchanges should stand up against the SEC and Gary Gensler. And what we're going to talk about next is also Ripple related as well, because Ripple just received another award for payments. Ripple bags a prestigious award as XRP turns green as well. Ripple, one of the top blockchain firms, has been recognized as a leader of the realm of crypto to fiat payments by essentially Tearsheet's Power of Payment Awards. The company has stated that the award for the remarkably innovative year of payments goes to Ripple and the broader crypto, and essentially is great for the broader cryptocurrency space. According to Tearsheet, the event was meant to spotlight the leading firm in the realm of payments. Ripple ended up sharing the awards with such big names and multinational businesses and software companies. The company, which is mainly known for being associated with controversial XRP token, appeared on the list because of its own on-demand liquidity products that make it possible to bridge traditional finance and crypto together. The company makes it possible to make cross-border payments and more efficient, according to Tearsheet. Ripple's network already covers 55 countries. Ripple's network already covers 55 countries, which is supposed to demonstrate the company's impact. Notably, Tearsheet has also mentioned Ripple's RLUSD stablecoin product, which has already entered its beta stage testing phases. Furthermore, Ripple has lauded, because of its focus on regulatory compliance, the fact that the company has essentially secured some crucial licenses around the globe, makes it a deserving awkward reception, according to the tier sheet as well. And also about 2 days ago, Ripple received another award for the FinTech and Payments Awards, where they received the Platinum Award, which is the best award you could possibly get if you're a financial-based FinTech company. Ripple wins CBDC awards, Ripple wins traditional payment awards, Ripple wins traditional and crypto payments awards, any payments related awards. Always remember, Ripple wins because they developed themselves alongside banks. Full stop. There's not a crypto project inside the entire crypto space that day one developed themselves alongside banks. Ripple is the only one. And all good things must come to an end because we have just reached the endings of tonight's live show. Drop a follow, drop a like. If you're watching this for the first time ever, this was the CMF Live. And my name is Miles. I go by the persona of Crypto Miles, and hence why this is called the CMF, essentially CMF Live. Stands for Crypto Miles Family. If you enjoyed this live, drop a follow, drop a like, and tune into it every single night. Thank you so much to everyone that's already essentially dropped a like, dropped a follow, and subscribed if you're watching us on YouTube as well. Thanks so much to everyone that's already retweeted this live. And just to give you a gist of what we went through on tonight's live show, a rundown, we talked about Ripple winning another award for payments. We talked about an exchange, a Chicago-based exchange that's green-lighted by the US government a very long time ago, has licenses to operate from the CFTC a very long time ago, is now also suing the essentially SEC and Gary Gensler for overreach on matters of XRP. And this is definitely going to put pressure on the appeal situation that's going on. The appeal that's going on with Ripple right now and the SEC, well, this is definitely going to put pressure on that case for the appeal situation. We also talked about Fidelity getting compromised. We also talked about Ripple, essentially the Bitcoin Exchange, Chicago Exchange backing it. We talked about essentially CBDCs in China, where if your phone turns off, what happens next, or offline CBDCs and how far they've come. We also covered a new crypto project that's been invested into or funded by the same company that funded Coinbase. Now, this company is funding another crypto project worth $20 million. We also went for the news topic of MicroStrategy aiming to create a Bitcoin bank somewhere down the line. We also talked about congressmen coming out and saying that, certain things that need to be done inside the crypto space, and Washington needs to have a better idea of what blockchain space is. We talked about Trump, essentially crypto project coming out next week. If anybody wants to go and check that out, it's coming out next week. We also talked about senators creating their own regulations and policies because Gary Gensler is not doing it for them. We also talked about on tonight's live show regarding the World Economic Forum pressuring countries to start moving faster on regulations and policies, and that more countries should be working with more blockchain projects, and blockchain projects should be working with countries, not going against them. We also talked about on tonight's live regarding Arkham Intelligence launching their own crypto derivatives platform coming out soon, apparently. We also talked about on tonight's live regarding Standard Chartered Bank saying Solana is a great project and it could do very well according to Standard Chartered Bank if Trump becomes president. So, drop a like, drop a follow, and tune into it. Same timing as usual, every single night. This was the CMF Live. Good night, everyone. Good night, everyone. Thanks, Miles. See you tomorrow. Orphan, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Great show, Miles. Let's go, CZ. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. Great show, Miles. Thanks, and good night, everyone. Bull XRP. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. Good night, Miles, and hard feelings, brother. Don't worry about it. No hard feelings, brother. Frankie, brother, don't worry about it. We're still brothers. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Miles, and good night, all CMF. Great news. JPC tomorrow, brother, sometime as usual. Thank you, Miles, and CMF. Mike, see you tomorrow, sometime as usual. Frankie, brother, see you tomorrow, same time as usual. Good night, Miles, and CMF. Thanks for all the news. Let's go free and forever. See you tomorrow, sometime as usual. Good night, CMF. Let's go, Frankie, brother. See you tomorrow, brother, same time as usual. Carol, good night, Miles, and CMF. Carol, see you tomorrow, sometime as usual as well. Good night, Miles and family. Great live. Many thanks. See you all tomorrow. Ian, see you tomorrow, sometime as usual as well. We appreciate Miles. Enjoy your night all. Let's go, leader. See you tomorrow sometime as usual as well. Good night, Miles. Butch, see you tomorrow sometime as usual. Thanks for everything, Miles. Scott, no problem. See you tomorrow sometime as usual. I will see everybody. Same timing as usual. Same timing as usual tomorrow. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. CMF, love you all. Have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the world. See everybody tomorrow. Same time as usual. If you haven't followed, follow. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't retweeted, retweet. If you haven't put a comment. And also join the CMF. And this live show is free, by the way. If you watch this for the first time ever, it's free every night. It's free forever. The Telegram group is free. And we also have our own CMFX community page. Join the CMFX community page if you already haven't. It's an amazing place to be. Do not forget to check the private message. It's important. Yes, Lena, I'll definitely check it out. Thanks, Miles, for everything. Scott, see you tomorrow, sometimes usual as well. Night, Miles, brilliant live as usual. Let's go, Joe. See you tomorrow, sometimes usual. I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time as usual. Everybody have a great day or a good night, depending on where you are around the CMF. See you tomorrow, same time as usual. Love you all.